Hey, Awesome Doodle fans. Maddie's puppies are 3 weeks old, and if you've been watching them on the puppy cam, you've seen a lot of changes this week. The 3 to 4 week old stage is the most radical changes that a puppy goes through since birth. They go from little creepy crawlers who can't really see anything, and they can't really hear anything, and they can't even pee on their own, to these little sassy 3-week-old puppies. Their tails are wagging, they're peeing and pooping on their own, they can control their own body temperature, they are making eye contact with us, and they can definitely hear, and they're actually starting to find their voice every once in a while. And it's so funny because sometimes we look in the puppy box and there will be a puppy that might be looking at a toy or just staring at the wall and just kind of like barking at the wall because they're just learning how to use their voice and they're seeing all the new stuff and they're just so excited to be alive and explore their puppy box. So Morgan is in the puppy box with the puppies right now. Say hi, Morgan.
Hi.
So Morgan, I've already said a lot, but tell us some of what you've seen happening in the puppy box this week.
The puppies are starting to notice each other a lot more and like notice that instead of sleeping all on each other, they notice what they're actually sleeping on.
Yeah.
Which is each other.
Yeah.
We have a couple of toys that are in the puppy box. There's like a tiny one that we have in here and that one over there.
Yeah.
And they've been mouthing those. They're mouthing each other and beginnings of like wrestling a little bit, and showing like who's more dominant.
Yeah. They starting to kind of bark at each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then whenever we come in the puppy room, and we'll like say, we usually like use our high-pitched voice and say puppies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all sit up and look and see where the noise is coming from. Their ears are opening still, and they can start to hear things more and starting to mouth things. A couple of them are starting to get their teeth in. They've all been eating well and pooping and peeing on their own.
Yeah, and how's Mom doing with them?
Maddie is doing really good with these puppies. She's keeping them clean. As soon as one starts pooping or whatever, she's in here licking them. Maddie's been eating a lot. She's been losing weight some, which is actually really good because she was a little bit overweight.
Yeah.
But she's been eating well. She's been feeding the puppies.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing a new system of leaving the door open so she can come and go, and she's doing perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. You guys on the puppy cam have probably noticed that Maddie isn't in the box nearly as much as she has been. And that's simply because the puppies don't need to eat every 2 hours any longer. So they go much longer in between feedings. And so if you don't see Mom in here with the puppies, you don't need to worry. It's always happens with every litter. Mom just doesn't have to be in here so often anymore. So Morgan, I see you're putting these puppies on their backs, and that's something you've always been known to do. And so tell us about how you do that.
Actually putting them on their backs is my favorite thing to do. It gets them more trusting of humans, and so that way they know instead of going stiff on their backs, they're relaxed.
Yeah.
And I honestly do that since as soon as they're born.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes them more relaxed, and see how I can just put them on their backs and they're not going crazy.
Yeah.
And it gets them to know, oh, I'm getting belly rubs when I'm on my back.
Right.
And all that.
And you touch their paws a lot too, right?
Mm-hmm. Always playing with paws. That helps with, like, at the doctor or at the vet.
Mm-hmm.
And just a lot of touching of the puppy. Because, like, playing with their ears and playing with their tails and their feet and their backs and their stomach and everything is a lot of what the vet does.
Yeah.
So, at the vet, they're not just now seeing it and feeling it. So,
right.
They're used to it.
Gets them used to the vet touching them all over and getting their nails trimmed, and especially with if you have little kids over at your house and they start touching the dog in weird places, like grabbing their feet or grabbing their tail, then the puppy is going to be more used to that since they've been feeling that ever since they were born. Everything you do with your puppy from the time it's born till the time it's 12 weeks old, your puppy will kind of just accept as, what life is all about. But if you never, grab your puppy's paws, at this age, don't expect to be able to clip its toenails when it's 16 weeks old, because you'll never be able to do that, and it's after that it's just simply counter conditioning. Whereas when we touch their paws at this age, they just accept it and they're fine with it for the rest of their life. So we will see you guys in another week, and at the 4-week video, they will get their first taste of MASH, which is basically the same food, the puppy food that mom is eating, softened for puppies, and we'll start feeding them the MASH at 4 weeks old. Those are some cute puppies. Over and out.